All right, Sarah, go right ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so I have this patient, or sorry, not patient, this person that I've been talking to, and he keeps on going like, I'm not on my phone, is this one of those things? And I'm like, well, we kind of do it in the cracks of our lives. And that's kind of like the gist of our conversation as far as starting out. And then he just replied, sounds small, but like he just keeps
You,
making
you're,
excuses.
I'm not getting you very clear. I don't know if it's me or is everybody else hearing her okay? Give a thumbs up. No? Okay. Sarah, we're not getting a good connection on that. Let's try it again. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It might be my internet.
You're really laggy on that. I was basically getting the gist of it that the person you're chatting with it doesn't sound like he's too interested so far, and he's kind of crapping on the idea. And then what did he say? Is it what?
He said it's interesting, but
It's
and
not
then
coming
he goes,
through. Why don't you type it out for me on that on what he's saying, and then I can go off of that. I want to make sure I'm able to answer your question. He says it's interesting and all. Okay. But he's not on his phone a lot. Okay. And is it one of those things? Yeah. So what I do in that situation, I had this happen not too long ago. I was on a call. I got put on a three-way because the conversation just wasn't going all that well by the other person, and they just kind of called for a lifeline, put me on, and the right off the bat, I mean, it was like, "Hello," like, dude, who answers the damn phone that way? So okay, maybe he's having a bad day. So I try a couple little things, and he just, I mean, there is no excitement in his voice whatsoever. I told him, I said, look, man, I'll be straight up honest with you. I'm building a $25 million a month business. If you want to work with me, let's see a little excitement, or I'm not going to waste my time with you. He perked up. Yes, sir. What's going on? What can you tell me? Okay, now we got something. Now we're hearing something from somebody. And then I kept on with it. And then real quick, I said, here's how this is going to go. Does what I'm telling you blow your hair back? Yes, it does. Okay. If it doesn't blow their hair back, blow them up, light them up. Say, wait a second. Let me pause here and just be a human for a second. What do you do for a living? Are you making a couple $1,000,000 a month? If you are, cool. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're not, do you hear yourself? Have this chat with people. Knock the mediocrity off with people. And here's the deal. If they do that, take it away from them. Absolutely take it away from them. Our job, 100%. When Mr. Kirk Hansen, a dude that's part of three people that have $40 billion in assets, gets up on stage and says, we're his business partners, consider the people that you're talking with. If those people aren't somebody that you would feel impressed by in introducing them to Mr. Hansen, done. We don't need to talk with them. Okay? Because seriously, long term on what we're doing is we are building something extremely special. Maybe it takes a while. Maybe it takes a couple months. I don't know how fast it's going to go. Tell the dude to take some nitro. Give him some nitro. Absolutely, Colton. I love it. And I'm not saying to just light them up, but I'm saying light a fire underneath of them. People are so used to just giving up on their dreams way too quick these days. And they're just beat down. You gotta pull out of them to see. Some people just don't have anything in there. They are absolutely dead inside. The walking dead, without a doubt. They just need to be put in the ground. They don't have any goals. They don't have any dreams on. So if you're not getting that out of them, stop the script part and just hit them from a personal perspective and have that personal chat with them. Now, if you're just getting started, some people say, well, Casey, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Let this forum that we're in on Power Hour that we do every Monday and Thursday, let this be the thing that gives you the fuel to go out there and do stuff like that. If it sounds audacious, good. It should be. Come at the equation with that. When you're working with those people, and you're sitting there and you're just like, well, give them this, not give them that. Not, dude, this is what I'm looking for. And tell them your intent. Tell them the intent on what I am looking for, people that are hungry. I obviously made a terrible mistake. You look to be completely good with what you're doing. I will do that to people. I have no fear in doing that. What I'm hoping to do is see if they got any fight in them. When we go through this step, this filtering mechanism, the funnel, when you look at the Team Fusion icon, when you look at that, it is a funnel. And a funnel, what you're doing is you're hoping to get people and find out where they're at. It can be frustrating when you go through person after person after person that you keep putting in the no funnel. Don't be afraid of that. You got to go through sometimes a lot of people to find people. The other thing is the stock that you're using of people. Some of y'all, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I'm not beating up on anybody. I was at this same spot too. The people that you're hanging around with aren't the people that's going to get you where you want to go. Not saying this guy's that way. I'm just, whenever I do this, I hope everybody gets, I'm not picking on that specific person. I'm using that as a key off point to be able to share some insight with you guys. But I when you say that type of thing, I remember hearing it for the last week from other people talking about this, talking about that, and that's where I come with the advice that I give. A lot of people are fishing in the wrong pond. You are the biggest fish in that pond. It's time for you to jump ponds and get into a bigger pond. Because when you're talking to the right person, you don't get that type of response. And when that happens, they might be having a bad day. I give them the benefit of the doubt. But you see that 2-3 times in a row, or in a conversation, it just keeps on going and they don't stop. I have bad days all the time. But I snap out of that. I'm aware of what's going on and I get on with it. If they're not doing that, not for them. Keep doing what you're doing. Is it one of those things? What the hell is that? One of those things where we make a heck of a lot of money and help 1,000 people? Yeah, it's one of those things, Bubba. Hit them with that, man. Bring that. I'm telling you, being audacious, having tighten that spine up and come hard at it. That might be uncomfortable, but that's gonna get you some of the quickest and fastest strides in this business ever. Because when you come with that, not being cocky, but being confident, people are not used to that. People are used to meekness. You come in with something. This guy was used to meekness that I was talking to on the phone the other day. I came hard. I told him what I'm looking for. I showed him some hope. He's like, holy crap, who am I on the phone with? I might need to listen to this guy. So that's what you want to be able to come with. So try that out. So something like this. Hey, I'm working on building a $25,000 a month business. If you're not looking into making extra money, I may have made a bad decision on asking you. I'm looking for hungry people that are looking for a change. That is beautiful. That's your pitch. That's it right there. Feels good, doesn't it? It's empowering to do that. Here's the other thing. It's going to empower the other person. It's going to lift them up out of their mess. Or it's not, and you leave them in the mess. We can't save everybody. I've told the story before. We're up on this pier. We're looking down, and you see all of these bodies in the water floating around, treading water, trying to stay afloat. Wave after wave coming on top of them. You toss down a buoy down there, and they go, what's this? I'm trying to save your butt, dude. Grab a hold. So, all right. Good question. Way to start it off and get me fired up, Sarah. That was good. I like it. All right. For everybody else that has jumped on, I appreciate y'all joining us. We just jumped right into it with the questions. Let me mute everybody out here. And I see some new faces on here. Good to see you all. One of the things that I like to do and like to request, if possible, is definitely turn your video on and put it in such a spot where I'm not looking at a ceiling. I actually like seeing who I'm talking with whenever I'm on a stage. I like to be able to see everybody there. No Colton the other way, not looking at the ceiling. And what's good about that is everybody else can see everybody in here. We don't do, in the Houston area, we're not doing the DFYs. We're not getting together every week at a presentation where everybody, shows up but doesn't bring any guests to. what we're doing is we're changing the game. We're using what this thing was originally intended to do and meant to do. But we still are human beings. We still want the interaction. We still want to have a sense of belonging, and that's what this does. By being able to have these presentations with each other where we can see each other. Now, I also understand some people are at a spot where, look, man, I can't turn my video. I get it. I respect that. But I do appreciate everybody that just turned theirs on. Thanks for making the effort. So at work, yep, absolutely, no problem, Doug. And I know Kate's there with you as well. All right. Again.
Hey, Steve?
Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
So my grandma just bought Kyani, right? And she only get, I'm not even gonna lie, she only took it for 2 days. She's basically is no longer taking it. She said she doesn't want to take it, and I even went and talked to her in person and said, Grandma, because my grandma's like, she really needs it medically, right? But like, what do I do? I mean, I tried talking to her a day in person.
Yeah, the hardest part in this business is when, especially somebody that you really love, somebody that you really respect, really care for, will not pay attention to you no matter what. That is brutal. It hurts. It sucks. I do not have a fix for that other than trying to find out what the true holdup is.
Yeah, well, I think a family member told her something about it, like told her not to take it, but I'm not for sure, and so she's not taking it.
So ask those questions and find out is what I would suggest. Take ownership of it. Sit in there and
I know.
Look,
I did.
Okay. Well, then I guess there's nothing.
And she got mad.
Well, then tough shit.
Yeah, I know.
She's gonna get mad. Do you want to help her? You want to save her, or you want to let her just be? You pick. You told me too much. You screwed up, Velma. You told me that somebody got to her and told you that this is no good. So now it's a fight. Somebody's ego.
Oh yeah, believe me.
Damn thing about what we do is jumping in the middle of it. So your choices are: let her be mad at you, and you still get her on the product, and you get over that, or she's not. That's really what it's come to. But if somebody, it's one thing if somebody tries it and they just don't like it. Okay, fine, no problem. It's another thing when somebody comes in there and starts talking trash. And when that happens, it's time to don't even put the gloves on. Let's go bare knuckles with it and come hard.
Yeah.
I want everybody to kick their game up, man. I want y'all to come. It's rare in business and on this planet to have something like we've got right now. And a lot of people, I don't think have a good viewpoint into what we've got. And Grandma definitely doesn't, and the idiot family member who told her not to take it damn sure doesn't have a clue, and that's the one that you need to go have a chat with.
Yeah, I will. So this all just happened like yesterday, and kind of today I went and talked to her in person versus the phone.
Yep, that's good. That's the right way to do it. But get to it. Get to the part on, hey, who said what and why, and try to make it where it's not a personal attack or anything like that. Just try to keep it on the factual side. But yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That was my question.
That's a good question. It's a good question. It's tough. It is tough when you got somebody that's close and they just won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sarah, he said, yeah, I'm not into that stuff anymore. Cool. So he's not into making money or helping other people. All right, cool. Next on that one, Sarah. I hope that wasn't somebody close, but bye-bye. That's it right there. Here's the deal. Here's the other deal. When you go through your list, everybody's got it in their head that they got to go get hundreds of people. You do not need to go get hundreds of people. You need to find 3 to 5, maybe 6 people in your lifetime in this business and help them learn the skills and what we do. That's what we do. That's all we do. You do not need, it is about duplication. You don't need that many. You need to have a couple few, and you got a group with you, and that group, you can change the world with 1, 2, or 3 people. 4, 5, or 6, they're going to write books about you. I honestly mean that. This business is all about that mathematical duplication. We think so linearly. We are so brainwashed into that. We're so brainwashed into go to work, get paid, go to work, get paid, and make X number of dollars. It is crazy the amount of money that is in this world. And it is crazy for some of us to be getting paid 8, 9, 10, 12, 20, 50 bucks an hour. And that's it. It's insane how much is out there. But it's a struggle. It's a fight. You're fighting against a society that has been indoctrinated with the idea of getting up, going to work, working there for 8 to 10 to 12 hours, asking permission from somebody to be able to go on lunch, when they can go home, when they can take a vacation. It's just built into us that we deal with that. And you're in a fight. You're in an absolute fight. The biggest fight that you got, by the way, isn't all these people that are telling you no. That's pretty simple. Sarah, I don't know how long you spent with this person. I would imagine it's probably, man, it's got to be less than probably 2 minutes that you spent with this person, hopefully. Give me a hand signal of how many minutes you spent with them. Maybe 10 minutes. See, that's not too bad. That's not too bad to go through and be able to find out that this is somebody that I am not partnering with. Some of the best business decisions I've ever made was saying no. And so you got to say no to this guy. You got to pick. Okay, you're done. You're moving on. You could keep fighting at that and eventually talk them into it. That you're saying no now. You're moving on. You're doing the right thing. The part that's going to kick everybody in this, it's not them saying no. It's the fight that you're going to have with your own head. Right between these fingers right here is the biggest enemy in the entire wide world. That's the only thing that's jacking with y'all. And what's really crazy is y'all all know it, don't you? What's cool about what we do whenever we go to these types of things, Materica, good to see you.
Hi.
Glad you're on.
Yes.
I'm going to mute you out. I keep hearing a lot of background coming up from there. I'm going to mute you out on that. Hopefully that'll do it. If you got a question, unmute yourself and ask right away. But the biggest thing that when we do these, there's some stuff I'm going to teach you that's brand new. There's going to be a lot of it in all the conferences, all the seminars, all the books. A good portion of it is going to be telling you stuff you guys already know. It's just going to remind you. And it's funny, it's going to remind you at the time that you're ready to hear it. And that's the key thing about staying plugged in. I basically repeat myself twice a week on this call. It's all the same variation of the same stuff. I say it differently. It hits you differently. You're at a different point, but it's so important to keep coming to it, to be able to keep hearing that, to remind yourself of what it is. And then it'll get to a point where it's just second nature. You just go in and somebody starts talking trash and it's like, let's go, bring it. I'm ready for you. You're in a fight. Let's do it. But it takes a while to get there. It takes a little bit of time. But the person that decides on how long that takes is you. This could be the night that you decide when we get done, all right, I'm doing this. I'm tired of talking about it. It's time to go do it. I'm tired of all the idiots that I'm talking to. I'm going to kick my game up a notch, and I'm going to go talk to, instead of the 1s and 2s on the list, I'm going to start talking to the 4s, 5s, and 6s. Then you'll get to a point where you're going to really get crazy and talk to those 7s and 8s. And then you might get really wild and talk to the chicken list that you got with the 9s and the 10s on it. That's right. And so the way you do that is you're going to make a decision. And I tell you, nobody else gets to give you permission to do it. It's not like you're going to get some certification from me that all of a sudden I'm going to be able to say, okay, and go. No, it's up to you guys. It's 100% up to you. You will make that decision. The day you make that decision is the day that it all changes. It's like the hat goes on backwards, and you're just like in the zone. And then what's cool is you can keep yourself in the zone. Once you decide, and the decision is simply one to decide that you're not going to be an amateur in this, you're going to be a professional in this. When you make that decision, everything changes. It is pure mindset. Over the top. Such a good show. All right. We got some comments on here. Let's see what we got. All right. So a question was asked, what do you do to enhance your communication skills? To be honest with you, the only thing that I've ever done is by taking action and reading books, and I really, really plug in. I've been on so many conference calls with so many different people. I have read so many books. I have went to so many events. I have heard speakers week after week. I was doing 3 presentations a week, like hotel presentations in my previous company, to learn this stuff. The bad thing about me is I'll sit there and I'll just keep learning and learning and learning until I actually put it into action. I should be 10 times further along than I am. I'm slow. I'm a wuss when it comes to taking that action. That's my default. So I finally got to a point where I stopped making those excuses. I stopped using the excuse, I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people. Okay, well, do you like being poor? Which one do you want to do more? I decided I wanted to get out there and do something about it, so I do. Is it comfortable for me? Not at all. I am very, very comfortable sitting in a corner and reading a book. That is me. That is my default. But I also know that I'm a whole lot more valuable to the world when I am out actually engaging with the world and sharing all the stuff that I have finally put together in my head. The only thing that's going to increase it, and you've heard this before, I'll say it again, you will be the same person that you are today 5 years from now, except for the books you read, people you meet, and I add into that the seminars and conference calls that you get on. The more of that you get, that's what changes. That's why they say, and I don't know if it's true or not, but the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, probably within $20,000 to $30,000 is going to be the same bank account of you. You take that average of those people, you're going to have that same one. That's where I mentioned get out of the pool that you're in, get out of the pond that you're in, and go get yourself in a bigger pond. That's not comfortable, by the way. It's a lot easier to go to lunch with the same people that y'all been going to lunch with all these years. You hear all the same bitching and whining and moaning and complaining from them. They keep saying all the same stuff. And the chances are the depth of the conversation is most likely the latest Netflix series that has been released. That's the big conversation. They want something new. They're bored out of their mind. So thank goodness for Netflix, because we get to talk about that series. Oh, have you seen this series? Nah, can't say that I have. How about this one? Nope. How about did you see that Rockets game? No. You know we're winning? I heard something about it. We're kicking butt. Couldn't tell you what the score's been. No, that's used to. I could quote everything. I could tell you every movie. I could tell you every series. I could tell you every sports. I could tell you everything that was going on in the news. I just took all the time I was wasting on that and put it towards something that was going to actually impact somebody. When I first did it, I was doing it for me. When I realized that it's not what it's about and it's about doing it for others, that's when it changed. When that happened, boom, an explosion went off. And it can be traced back to that. The thing is, most of you think it's got to take you like 7 to 10 years to get to this, get your head there. No, it takes tonight to decide. And then tomorrow, you got to make another decision. The day after that, on Saturday, you're going to have to decide again. You got to figure out what is the cost. You got to figure out what it is you want, the cost of what it's going to take to do it, and then you got to decide if it's worth it. If it is, you'll do it. If it's not, you won't. That's it. Now the skills, let's get into some skills. That's some mindset for you. I got some more mindset for you. A lot of you, I wrote this one down. I got this out of 10X, the 10X conference I went to. A lot of you are worried about what other people think. And to some extent, we all are, because we are a social being. We are a social animal. We don't live in caves by ourselves for the most part. Even if you are an introvert, at some point you come out for air every once in a while. Just not as often as an extrovert. An extrovert can't even comprehend that. So what happens is, since we're social beings, we do somewhat care about what the other person thinks. And you can take some social clues from that from time to time. But when it comes to business, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to money, the vast majority of people are not wealthy. They might have some money. They might have a good job, but they are literally 3 weeks from being broke. The vast majority of us listen to those people that don't have a clue about how to make money. It's unfortunate, but it's the case. The other unfortunate thing is that for the vast majority of us, is that our upbringing wired us to think this way. Why you like coming to these things and listen to me ramble on and rant and rave and all this is that I'm speaking some different stuff. I'm saying it with conviction. You've seen some proof, and you like what you're hearing because you see that it's going to get you down a different path. You haven't heard some of these things before. You haven't heard it said this way before. So what this is meant to do is so that you can hear that there is another way. But even when you get this thing all figured out, you're still going to have the vast majority of the population that does not think the way that we do. And you have a choice on which one you're going to listen to. That social pressure that you give into is what's keeping you, one of the things that's holding you back. If you watch a movie and you see all the major actors and they have their names next to them, and then if you sit there and you're finishing your popcorn or whatever it is you're doing, you're waiting for the crowd to clear out, and you keep getting down to the bottom, then you get down into the parts of the story where you've got the taxi cab driver number 2. Okay, nobody knows who that. They didn't even think enough of that part to even give them a name that would be memorable. It's taxi cab driver number 2. A lot of you are living your life based on what taxi cab driver number 2 thinks about you. Does that make sense? You got people that you call them in an emergency, they ain't going to answer the phone. You leave them a message, they're not going to call you back. Now, am I saying not call these people? Call everybody, talk to everybody, see if they're interested and see if they get there. But if they don't, move on. That's taxi cab driver number 2. They ain't paying your bills. They're not going to help you out in a situation. So stop giving them all the power. You are allowing them to set up shop in your head. And they're not paying your bills. If they're paying your bills, that's different. All right? Listen to them. At least, deal with them. But some of y'all are letting some people just, man, they are all in your business. How did they do that? You let them. That's the part that sucks. You let them. Now, here's the deal. That's going to keep happening until you're aware of it. Once you're aware of it, then you can do something about it. Here's what you have to do about it. You just got to be aware of it. Once you're aware of it, it goes away. Once you're aware of it, you won't let it happen. How do you get aware of it? By the books you read, the conferences you attend, the seminars that you listen to, these events like this. Let this be the thing, and then put all of this stuff into massive action. I want all of y'all to take what you've been doing, and I want you to crank the dial. I mean, crank it up. All the way up. Y'all have got a lot of people on your list that you haven't reached out to. If you're not clear on what you need to do on that, you're coming to the right place. All right, we got some more comments in here, and I'm going to get into some skills today. Yeah, there's some good books people are putting out here. What is the first book a newbie should read? That's a really good question. Making the Shift is I think it's an audio by Darren Hardy. I think that's a huge one. It is. It's actually on teamfusionfamily.com. And it's under the personal development side of things. It's $9 to get access to that. If you did it just for the personal development items that are on there, you're going to save yourself a whole bunch of money. Making the Shift. Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. That's a very good one that I would do. I would listen to both of those. I'm actually going to show y'all where that is at. No, I broke it. How did I do that?